Okay, hi there. It's Catherine here, and I'm doing this video. It's a bit of a deviation from the rest of my material, but I felt inspired to talk about this subject, madness, and people who I've worked with who might be considered mad. I prefer to use the word mad. I find it to be more compassionate than giving a psychiatric label or saying crazy or something like that. So, mad people. I did talk about this a little bit in a podcast that my friend Dusty Santa Maria recorded, and I'll link to that because I like that interview. It's a good one. So, anyway, I got my little list here of people who I really remember. I don't know, little stories I hope to share from the 4 years that I spent working at a psych ward. Um, I'm gonna be very general about how I describe them and just kind of tell stories. And I want to say that, the purpose of this is to maybe lift these people up a little bit or make them more visible. Not the people themselves, but just like mad people in general. I think there's just an idea that we have of people who are mad that is maybe on the one hand it's like we're afraid of them or we just see them as so other, and then on the other hand, we if we're not pathologizing them, then we're idealizing them. um, and I guess there's place for all of that in them, in us, and everyone. We're all a bit mad. I know I am. If you've watched these videos. Anyway, so yeah, um, let's see. Okay, so there's one person. I want to call them cats. Is that cool? I'm gonna call them cats. So there's one cat who I remember walking into the group room where we would do therapy groups. Walking in the group room, and there was people's art all over the walls. Um, and the cat, I walked in there, and they've got glitter all over their hands and face. Nobody else is in there. The lights are off. I'm not even really sure how this person is in the room, but they're going to every image on the wall and like tracing them almost as if there's some kind of energetic signature that this person can read that is not seen by others, and just like going around very intently, very close to the wall, like right there, and just tracing and mumbling quietly, something going on. For some reason, that really stuck with me, and I like that image. Okay, somebody else. I loved this person. Not everyone did. I really loved this person, but like a lot of cats in that place, this person had a music ability, or there's a lot of people with artistic musical abilities, and so this person would come in no matter what was going on, and just start banging on the piano that we had in the group room, and singing, like just belting it out, banging it out and belting it out. And it didn't really like make sense. I think it might not have even been in English. This person spoke another language. Um, it drove everyone crazy, but I loved it, and I would just be like, yes, and now this person is contributing this, and I would try to like weave it into the group. I feel like I got pretty good at that in that place. um, it I think of it as like Russian roulette sometimes. Like most of the time you go to the group in the psych ward and it's fine, um, but every now and then you get a tough one, or just like maybe not even a tough one. Sometimes it's just like so wild. But I felt like I was good about just like approaching situations and people when I didn't know what to expect, because it wasn't like I had a role of people that would come. It was like anyone who wanted to show up would show up. And people in there for any number of reasons are different from moment to moment. Their states are shifting. So anyway, who else? Okay, here's another cat. This cat was like really, I don't know if they actually had studied, like Buddhism and quantum physics and Zen and this kind of thing, but they certainly blended these concepts to get concepts from these bodies of work together in their art and the way they spoke and the way they wrote, and I really loved it. This person, um, I don't know what possessed me, but would always talk about themselves as a mythical animal. And one day in a heart to heart moment, I mentioned that I'm also a mythical animal, a rainbow dragon. And they were like, yes, you are. They really were into it. And I always had to be like, shh, keep it on the down low because they would get so excited to be in my presence, and like they in their presence, together. It was a synergy. Um, yeah, they would remember it too. If they ever had to leave and come back, they would remember Rainbow Dragon. Um, Felt good. It feels good, when somebody really sees you like that, and is into it, feels good about it. Yeah. Who else? This person, this cat, I had to, when I was still in grad school, I had to record an interview or like a therapy session, I guess. And I just felt really drawn to this one particular cat because, because the way that they described what they were experiencing was sort of like unique and fantastical, and it had this like basis in reality, but it was very sort of poetic and beautiful and frightening in this way. And so I went ahead and did this recorded session with the person, and it's it came out very strange. It came out very strange. I think just the whole, like, I mean, this is like anyone, but the whole thing of it being recorded and on camera and stuff, and for students, I think that just kind of like set this person off in a weird way. And there was like a hooting and hollering and lots more poetic language than usual, and it made very little sense. It was like I wasn't even really there, but I took great pleasure in very, very carefully transcribing every ounce of it and presenting it to my cohort in graduate school. The not a video, but it was, what I showed them was just a audio clip. Yeah, now that I'm thinking, it was just audio clip and a transcription. Everybody else is kind of in more tame settings, and I felt like I was just bringing them this gift, like, this is where I am, this place, these people. It's like, um, it's a lot more colorful. There's a lot more going on. My my supervisor used to always say, no, I don't know if she always said it. She said at least once that it was a zen and juicy place. And I said it a lot after that because I felt like that really captured it. It's a zen and juicy place. A lot of counseling settings are not so zen and not so juicy, but you really got to be in the moment. That's how that place is, and there's a lot of juices flowing. Who else we're gonna talk about? Okay, this cat. Um, this cat tried to scare me when we first met, by talking about grotesque things, and I was really, for whatever reason, able to roll with it and be like, yeah, I know what you're talking about, and it's cool. Um, and so we kind of like bonded over that. And this person has I think it's fair, for this isn't too much sharing, to say that this person had a clown affinity, as do I. And I, having trouble describing this without being too revealing. Okay, let me just put a placeholder here Maybe I'll come back to it. But this person was kind of like this scary person, scary, could be scary, wanted to be making you think that they were scary, but they were not, they were awesome. And so it was like in my mind, an evil clown was like the outward persona, but really it was this like very joyful, wonderful clown. And that's all I'm gonna say right now. Let's see who else. Oh yeah, okay. So just, yeah, the way that people who are mad can make you feel good. It's really nice. Um, because they're coming from some place that's very open, and I want to honor that it's hard to be that open, and it makes living in this world very hard, but there's something I appreciate about it. Yeah, one cat who I one of the groups I did, I would sometimes lead people on relaxing inner journeys, um, kind of visualizing or doing imagery, this kind of thing. And this one cat really rolled with it, and got really into an experience one time, and I could tell by what they were saying, and there weren't a lot of people there that day, so it kind of allowed for this to happen. And they were like connecting with their family and resolving things and like remembering things, but it wasn't like, you got to be careful because you don't want to like jog people into a traumatic like re-experiencing thing, but it wasn't like that. It was very like this person was grounded and in it and like feeling the feelings and like sensing, the way that you're supposed to when you're really in it, like smelling, seeing, feeling, um, crying. And it was so awesome. After that, this person always told everyone that I was the best therapist ever. And, I don't believe that that is true, but it made me feel really good that this person, one, trusted me enough to go there and process some material in a way that was important and have a little healing experience. And two, that they always sang my praises made me feel really good. Another person, this is kind of funny, but okay, so this cat was, I think it's fair to say, okay, this cat had experience meditating. I'm not going to say anything more than that, even though there's some interesting details there, but I don't want to give too much away. So this cat had some experience meditating, and I led a meditation once, and this cat, the same way, was really able to roll with it and get into it. And there were so many wonderful, interesting things about this person, but I just want to say that after that, after that meditation, and I was feeling it, it was going well, but after that meditation, because this cat was so able to have that experience, came out of it and told me, "You are a true master." And it's funny because every time I tried to do that meditation on my own after that, practically every time, and I was doing this daily, it was something I did often, this particular practice for a while. Um, every time I did after that, I remembered it, and it set my ego all off, all askew. So it made me feel really good in the moment, but of course, I don't know. I'm not trying to say I'm a true master. This person had an experience of me being a true master that made me feel good, but that also distracted me pretty much every time I meditated for a long time after that. Okay, this cat came from somewhere else, another state, and gave a fake name, like a fake social, or I don't know if there even was a social, but it had like a whole backstory and everything. And this cat was very charismatic. Like, um, it was fun when this cat would come to groups because they could talk about all kinds of subjects, and I can do that too. So we could talk about, like, I remember talking with this cat about aliens once, and the cat's like listing off all these different types of aliens, and kind of thinking that nobody is like following, and then I just chime in. I'm like, Arcturians, and the cat's like, whoa, you know about Arcturians? Yes, I do. Anyway, so felt sort of bonded to this person, felt like we were able to do good therapeutic work, But at some point, months later, they realized that this cat's name was not that name. The whole story was different. Like the whole thing was different. And in light of what I knew about the person just from experiencing them and the name that they chose for themselves, which of course I cannot say, but like that compared to the birth name, it was like the most mind-blowingly hilarious creativity that I could have imagined at this moment. Really, really impressive. Okay. Um, Another cat. I'll just say there were other cats like this. Maybe this cat is kind of like a fictionalization of several people, but I have one in mind anyway. It was just amazing the way they started making art and it was like automatic. Um, this person had no training in art, um, but they could just go get the pastels on the page and just go. And it was like another world for a minute. And then they come back and it's like, oh, hey, there you are. They're looking at the page like, not really sure how that got there. And it seriously looks like a masterwork Picasso kind of thing. Um, what's that about? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but it's beautiful and awesome. And again, I want to honor that it's also difficult to have experiences like that, to have breaks from reality like that. But okay, okay, one last one. This one is kind of significant, I guess, to me. I'm talking more about my experience with this cat, um, who, when we first met, was very angry at me and kind of blamed me for what was going on in their world at the time. And for whatever reason, that was very triggering for me. Like sometimes it's easier than others to just not take things personally. It's like, oh, that's clearly that person's psyche, you know, doing a number. But this one struck me in a way, and anyway, so it was kind of like blame was all projected on me from this person, and it was just a cool um, synchronicity, I guess, that right around that time I had read about that technique, Ho'oponopono, where someone is angry about you for something. Maybe you did it or maybe you didn't. Like, if you didn't do it, like the most powerful thing you can do, according to this like technique, this philosophy, which is like a native Hawaiian, I guess, comes from. Forgive me, I don't really remember or know what I'm talking about now. But anyway, so what you do is you accept the blame from that person and you tell them, thank you, I'm sorry, I love you, please forgive me, something like that. And I didn't say those things exactly, but I tried to embody that in our interactions at a certain point, to just accept, like, yes, I'm responsible for your suffering and I apologize. And in doing so, I guess I got to kind of be whoever was actually responsible, who never would say I love you and I apologize and thank you and all of this stuff. And I said those things. Um, and that was a really cool teaching that person gave me. And lots of lots of amazing teachers in that place. Therapy. I don't really do therapy anymore, but when I did, a lot of times you're learning so much from others. It's hard to say who's helping who. Is really like that. And so that's an example, because I was triggered and not acting from the right place, from my heart. Wasn't able to find my center and go from there. But eventually, this teacher helped me to get there, and I learned a thing or two. Okay, so those are some of the cats from the psych ward that I want to remember today, and um, blessings to them and all their family and friends, all the people who work to serve them, just really hoping that angelic forces can move through places like that. Okay, thank you, and have a good one.